We're live on the Louvers Happy Hour, episode 3. Thanks a lot for joining me. What'd you say?
I said hello, everybody.
Yeah, but that's like really the concept is like, so this meme the other day where it was like the internet in the 90s, don't talk to strangers, but the internet in 2024, all of my friends are strangers on the internet,
You got like three real friends, and then like hundreds of digital ones.
Yeah. So it's an opportunity for me to meet you and people that I've been talking to for years, and also for people to get to see it and get to know us a little better too. So, again, thanks for being here.
I think
cool.
you're one of the first people that I remember following in lockdown when I started the DreamKid like Instagram.
That's where it all starts, right? For everybody,
followers, and like you one of them, and you're like, hello.
Yeah. Those were cool days because I remember starting Louvers and, kind of probably the same thing, like being in bands but not really sure where it's going to go. Started as kind of a nostalgia page poking around until I found like this whole community. But you were there for a long time, man, from the start on that page.
Yeah, I think there was a few people there already. I feel like I was a bit late, almost.
Yeah, about 6 months, but that's about it. You were there a while.
You reckon like most people like started this synth stuff during like lockdown as well?
I think especially a lot of people did, definitely, especially like I know you played in live bands. I was always playing in live bands, and I really jumped into the digital realm during lockdown at a necessity, kind of,
Yeah.
But I think that's the same for a lot of people, Then I dove real into the synths and the production end of things.
Yeah, I was also like in lockdown, just learning stuff.
Yeah,
it was all like I don't know what's this. Okay, is that diva? Like,
And the best
crazy like
part about that, about the stuff that I learned around that time was some of the stuff that I learned how to do wasn't even what I was trying to learn how to do. It's like I got to solve problem D, so I have to learn A, B, and C on the road there. And that was like the best stuff that I learned, production-wise and musically and things like that,
I think like I learned a few basics, and then eventually I was just like, I'm just doing what I think sounds cool to me.
Yes, 100%. And this
I was just dragging in plugins and just like being I don't even know what that does. Just see what that sounds like. Okay, maybe if you change the order, maybe that'll change something.
Yeah.
Like with my guitar sound, I fiddled with like so many flipping orders. I found like that quite interesting. Like
I remember talking to one of my friends that's he was like a actual producer for years at that point, and he has a studio. And I remember telling him like, I tried this the other day. I put the tape compressor on that. Like, what are you thinking? I was doing something wrong? And he's like, no, that's what you're supposed to do. But I found out those things like in the way you're describing, where you're just like, what if I put it on this thing and that thing at the same time? And like, he's like, no, you're doing exactly what everybody does. Follow your ears, man, right?
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I think so many producers, they don't doing. We don't. We learn
well, they say follow your ears,
I think like, there's no rules. I mean, you just kind of got to fiddle.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you a few questions I wrote down, but
cool.
We'll talk about other stuff. But I remember sort of like in the beginning, you had like the retro posts and stuff like that. Did you always have DreamKid as a concept, or did you kind of plan it as it was going along the way as you got into the retro community? How did that work out?
So I was just, I've always loved Synthwave, but I've always was like, I didn't know the production side.
Yeah.
And obviously in lockdown, it was just like, we were twiddling our thumbs. And there's only so much episodes of Baywatch I could watch.
Yeah.
Like watching Baywatch for some reason, like from season 1 and stuff. So I was like, okay, it was just inspiring me to like do something like nostalgic. And I kind of I was thinking of names, and I didn't want something too out there. I wanted something that was pretty cliche synthwave. I didn't want something too I mean, DreamKid's pretty much the most cliche synthwave name.
That's what I was going to say too. I wrote that, you know, you have the benefit of having an awesome name. Sometimes I wish I would have went more in that direction, where it's like Louvers, I gotta have to explain to people, you know, what does that mean? But
That's also cool.
you know,
It's just, you know, it's like, I mean, I think with me, I just wanted it something that was like, it was obvious.
yeah, no, but it's a cool name, man. You know, that's the kind of thing where like just for the account too, when you see that account, it sticks in your head, you know, DreamKid.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, even in my songwriting, I like things simple. For me, simple's just more impactful, personally.
Me too. Me too. I think that comes from my musical backgrounds, you know, to where I like the music I grew up on. It just makes sense that way. The music I like to listen to. How did you come to synthwave in general as a listener? You know, when did that start for you?
It was the new Retrowave YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, very cool.
It was like 2015, maybe 2016. And
Cool.
yeah, I was like, what is this whole thing happening? Like, because I kind of like always wanted, I was dabbling in a lot of stuff. We had like a pop punk band, and we called ourselves Miami, and we were like dressed up like neon and stuff.
That's cool.
And we were trying to go for like this 80s thing, but we just didn't have the knowledge of like, especially synth stuff. So then when I found the YouTube channel, I was like, what? Like, there's actually a thing, you know?
Yeah.
And then it was just lockdown. I just started buying plugins and fiddling around, and I just wanted to release, like, I was just like, I'm just going to release a song for fun. Like, I wasn't really thinking much about it, you know?
That's cool.
And then while like on my Facebook, my personal Facebook, I think I was on the Synthwave group, like the big one on Facebook. And an old friend of mine, Stu, who runs Outland, I think I saw him on there, and he's from South Africa. And I've known him for years, like playing in bands and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, we were both confused, like, what are you doing? I was like, I didn't even know South Africans even knew about Synthwave. What are you doing in the group?
Yeah.
So, and then he was like, because he's seen me like perform, and he's seen what I've done over the like last decade. He was like, what, you making Synthwave? He's like, we need to chat. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And then just from there, he kind of pushed me a bit, and obviously I wanted to learn, and I think I'd never even mixed a song in my life when I signed the contract.
Yeah. Did you tell him you could though?
I literally just threw myself in the deep end, and it was actually pretty good. And
Yeah.
I basically winged it.
No. Yeah. No, that's awesome. No, but you know, it sounds good though, man. The work that you've done. I got your first one here. You know.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, you were supportive. Yes.
I got the second one coming on the way, Daggers. You know, again, awesome artwork. The songs that I've heard of it, I really like so far. And I make a point to listen to everything on Bandcamp. If I buy it on Bandcamp, I actually use that app to stream music as well.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much still just like Spotify, but I think it is a lot better. It feels a lot more like you own it, and it feels more.
Yeah. Just for like, it's mostly like artists that I know, or, you know, merch that I buy from independent artists. If I buy it and it comes with the album, I use the app as much as I can.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Spotify is for everything else, or playlists and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool that you kind of said, "All right, I'll do it," and then you had to learn how to do all this stuff. You know.
I had the vision of it, but I think I was still a bit like, you know, like I haven't even mixed a song. Like, let me just like, I probably just went a lot faster.
Yeah.
Which is probably, I think the timing of it just worked out for me, I suppose.
Cool.
I like throwing myself in the deep end when I don't think I can actually accomplish it, and I'm just like, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
Even though I think, I don't even know how I'm going to do it yet. Like, it's actually a good thing that. Otherwise, you would just like, you know, talk yourself out of it.
Definitely. I think they definitely also do better with like deadlines, at least. Like, if I'm coming close to when something has to be there, that's when I actually start working on it. You know, but like agreeing to things is like important sometimes. Like just like in my process too. Like that's why I think I have more Halloween albums than regular albums because I'll say like I'm gonna put out another Halloween album this year. Then it's like this time is ticking. It's not like if I tell myself I'd like to do an album in 6 months and then 6 months comes and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Um,
I've got so many songs now just from all this content I've done that I'm already on the next album already, and I've got the whole theme and I've got the whole concept and everything already going.
No, that's great.
I've got like half the songs are there. I just have to like stretch them out.
Yeah. And put the ones together that work.
Sorry?
You put the ones together that work with each other, with the theme that you pick in and that kind of thing.
Like I have to kind of put them in the right. Like there were a lot of songs that I wanted to put on Daggers, but I was like, I don't think it'll be right for this album. It'll be better for the next one. Do you know what I mean? Especially like maybe more darker, cyberpunky, that kind of thing. I thought to myself, it's not going to fit the Daggers one. Daggers is more of just easygoing, summer poppy kind of just classic synthwave.
You thinking of going more in that direction on a future release, more the cyberpunk type of stuff?
Yeah, I think who knows?
Yeah.
It's nice it would be nice. I would love to do like a more dark album for sure.
That's cool.
Probably more instrumental bass, but like obviously singing as well. But done. Yeah, I have to figure it out. But it would be nice. Or even just I'd love to do a Halloween EP.
Yeah.
That's just.
I think if you ever want to do like I've been releasing Halloween EPs pretty consistently. If you want to just like contribute a track to one, I had done that a few times with other artists, like as a Halloween collaboration album.
Okay.
I do one like every year. Mostly, I skipped this one because I had 3 already, so I'm like, maybe I'll wait.
Yeah. I mean, I always think, I'm going to do one, and then I'm already like, oh, but it's Halloween, like.
Yeah, it's September, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
So I have a few questions that I think kind of go together. So Blinkwave, what is it? Why didn't they give you credit for inventing it? Are you mad?
No, I don't think. I'm not. It was just funny.
Yeah.
I can't say that. I don't think it's. I mean, I was going on about the Blinkwave thing for years.
Yeah.
I was like.
Well, that's the thing is that I knew it from you. You would say Blinkwave, and then all of a sudden Blink-182 so happens to foray into synthwave, and it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like to think it. Even if it's not true, I like to think, you had some influence there. Come on. No, I don't know. Yeah.
I know Kevin, who's I think he's the engineer on the last album.
Yeah.
He followed. So.
Oh, that's what I mean. There was a connection there.
There's a few connections. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, it would be rad. If they said yes, I'd be like, woo!
But you definitely could hear, like, your background. Would you say, like, what was your background? I know you played pop punk stuff, but is that where you say, like, your musical background lies, or what other kind of genres did you mess with when you were younger, other projects?
I think with the 80s thing, it's like I was born in the 80s, but it was like I can't remember the 80s. I was so small.
Yeah, same.
So my main, like, what I can remember, like, well, is 90s stuff. And obviously 90s stuff is, I did the Green Day and the Silverchair and the Blink, and I come from a surfing family, and I used to watch all the surf videos, and I used to be like all the unwritten law, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I really was into as a, like when I was like 11 years old or whatever. But I think maybe in the early 2000s, I would hear 80s stuff, and I think like it started all those memories, from
like those.
Started like appreciating like 80s sounds, but I've always loved like nostalgic synth and sounds. A lot of bands have always dabbled with that in their songs, like.
And I think it's more appreciated now than ever because so many more people have the capability to mess with that stuff personally because of the computer and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many modern bands that have used it. They've just like touched into it. and it'll be like a bridge of a song.
Yeah.
Brad, like synth will come in, and you're like, ooh, and then it goes away.
Yeah. Yeah, so you say like you surfed and stuff, and I'm kind of in the same age bracket, I guess. Like I grew up in the 90s, but the 80s was always like this background, you know, like, and my first bands were similar, Green Day and stuff like that. But like for the 80s, like when I started playing, it was like a lot of, I was into like a lot of new wave and post-punk stuff. So the tinge of that was always in my early music when I played in early bands. Like I was always into The Cure and Depeche Mode and stuff.
Mm.
But it would just be a little bit that like when I look back I could hear it, but at the time we just sounded like a indie rock band.
Yeah,
you know.
with me, I've loved so many different styles. I've loved rap. I've loved, my first tape was MC Hammer. I loved Vanilla Ice. I loved that To the Extreme album. I was obsessed about Vanilla Ice. I thought I wanted to be Vanilla Ice. I had like lines, and I was recording myself rapping when I was like 5, and so I've loved everything. I appreciate it. I've got into Bryan Adams, Aerosmith, heavy bands like The Used. I've got into that, but I think with synthwave and 80s music, the only difference for me is that the feeling I get from nostalgic 80s music is like no other feeling I get from any other style of music. So
Yeah, it hits a certain nerve.
yeah, and also I've told people this before, but I feel like because I grew up on pop punk, it's very simplified, and it's almost like a lot of the riffs and stuff that I use in synthwave, it's using the same kind of concept of an arpeggio on a guitar with a simple bass line. All those bass lines you use in pop punk, we use in synthwave. Like
and that's where that blink wave thing comes through.
Yeah,
that
even the Midnight use the same similar, all those kind of those bass patterns. It's all used in like so many, especially pop punk and just like pop music in general.
Like I come from like a indie folk background. Like I played a lot of acoustic folk rock songs in bands when I was growing up, and I get the same kind of thing. Like it translates so well to the chord progressions that are in synthwave that it was just kind of natural to take these songs that I had been writing and then just say like, what if that sounds this way? And it's like, oh, it makes sense. It sounds perfect that way.
Yeah. So I feel like these people were like trying to chat, and I feel bad. I'm like, sorry guys. Hello everybody.
Thank you for joining us too. Appreciate that. Yeah, and you know what the thing is like Instagram for some reason doesn't like you to save the chat. So when we save the video, none of that saves, which is strange,
Really?
But I appreciate people tuning in for the Louvers Happy Hour. Getting to talk to one of my old Insta friends.
How many episodes have you done?
This is the 3rd episode, but I got a lot of people on the wait list, man. Like like I have so many people that I want to have on and I want to talk to, and like this. I've only met a few in person, but this is a great opportunity to do this. The big things like New York City shows. I've met a lot of people at, a handful. But VHS Fest is awesome, man. They have it's like the VHS Con, and like so many accounts, like retro accounts, show up to that. So that I've met people at. But but this is a great opportunity to meet people. So this is episode 3, but I'm hoping to keep it rolling. I got a lot of people on the wait list.
Nice.
So I wanted to ask you, California. You went to LA, right?
Yeah, I have been before.
Okay, that was one of my questions. How many times have you been? And that's kind of like has to make a connection for you because of like the SoCal punk that you're into, but also you were into surfing when you were growing up. So what is LA like for you? How do you like it? What was cool there?
It's very similar, like especially the Venice Beach kind of thing. It's very similar to how growing up in Durban, where I'm from, it was the same sort of promenade, palm trees, people on skateboards, surfing competitions. Like there's a big, there used to be the Gunston 500, which was like a massive surfing contest. So it's pretty similar to the Huntington Beach, Venice Beach kind of. We've got the piers. yeah, when I go to LA, it just feels like, I don't know, I feel like I have like I don't believe in past lives, but I don't know. If I had to, I think I would say I've definitely lived there before.
I feel like that's a thing about that aesthetic, though, that LA aesthetic, like, and that ties into the whole synthwave thing. It's kind of like you're remembering something that never happened, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
I think like, but even like when I was small, I was like 5 and I was really just like, America, America.
but was LA what you were thinking of when you thought that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had this obsession about it from when I was tiny. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe these were the movies, you know?
Well, that's especially 80s, 90s movies. So, like, the glamorizing of, like, that specific area and stuff, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Like,
that's cool.
yeah, it's very similar. I would probably think New York's probably not like where I'm from, but
Yeah.
New York's probably like London, but then some people say it's not. So I don't know. I need to go
So,
to New York then.
my last question on LA, maybe. Do you rent a car when you go to LA?
I just Ubered.
That's what I was going to say.
Destroyed my bank account.
As a person from a commuter city, LA is a shock because it's not a walkable city.
Yeah.
It's hardly a public transportation city. You need a car.
I've got drivers, but obviously I haven't never driven on the other side of the road for starters.
Yeah.
It's England.
Oh well, yeah.
England.
Me neither.
England and South Africa are the same.
Okay.
I mean, I've been in Europe, but I wasn't driving, and that some places in Europe it's like the States. So
yeah,
that confuses me. Like when I'm in the passenger seat, I think actually to start off, I think your driver seat's on the other side.
Yeah.
So that throws me off. And then
So I wouldn't attempt it. Like if I go to London, I wouldn't drive. You know, I probably could, but I wouldn't like. I would feel uncomfortable if it was like I'm renting a car for a few days. You know.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I'd probably just have a couple practices and some quiet room, and then but I love it there. I want to live there, and I'm going again I'm going to go there in a couple months.
All right, cool. And I'll get on you again for not coming to New York. But
I actually need to do both. I have to go to New York because every time I've gone to like LA, I've always gone. I need to do both, you know.
Yeah.
And then
it's very much like London, you know. It's very London here. I liked London a lot actually. I've only been once.
Okay.
You're in the UK now, right? You're not in Africa.
Yeah, I live in London.
All right. Yeah. So, and you know what? People in the US always say like the food is bad and this, and you know what? I found the people pleasant, and I liked the food a lot. So I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, in London.
A bit bland.
You know what I think of it like? London, it's like bar food, you know, but it's like the best bar food in the world. It's like they do like tavern food really well. And
I eat a lot of Thai food and Indian food and stuff. Like I don't eat meat, so like I love spicy food. So that kind of stuff is great. But like I think before
you like
when I eat
Scotch eggs.
Sorry?
No Scotch eggs.
Yes. But I find the junk food in the States like amazing.
Yeah.
Like
I
can't remember the name, but they make like this vegan junk food burger, and I was like, this is like legit.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good veggie options too. Like, you know, New York is that's one thing over here. Like any kind of food you could think of in the world, we probably have a place that does it pretty well. So that's cool.
And you got the big gulps. You got the freaking
7-Eleven. Yeah, they got them.
And those Mark's hard lemonade. I don't know what it is with those, but when I just have one of those.
I don't. Yeah.
Water.
I have drank them. I don't drink them these days, but I have drank them.
When I first,
you know,
in 2010, like we were drinking them, and it was just like it was so messy. I was like, what?
Good. Yeah. But it is a very commutable city out here, kind of like London. The subway doesn't close down though. What is the tube close at like 10 or something out there?
It's about half 12 in the week, and then I think weekends it's like most of the lines are 24 hours, but you have to wait quite long, like
Yeah,
after 12.
it's pretty frequent here, but like not that you want to be on it after
Yeah,
after 12. It gets pretty I don't know, pretty rough looking. People drunk and whatever it is, but it's still, you could get around easy. You can get around easy, you know.
are you like New Jersey way? Well, my
I'm in New York. I'm in Staten Island, but it's New York City. It's
okay,
New York City. And that's kind of a thing out here. Ask some people from the other parts of New York City, and they'll say it's not, but it's a touchy subject. You ask somebody from Staten Island, it's part of New York City. But if you want to get into Manhattan, you have to take a ferry boat.
okay,
I think that inspired a lot of stuff I write about too, because like I didn't grow up near a beach like you did, but I did grow up like near a beach. Like I could hear the water from my house growing up, but it's just not a nice beach.
oh, you've got a beach there, no?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, they're just not the one that is down the block from my house.
Okay.
Yeah, so like there's water everywhere. Like we have nice beaches. Like if you go out to New Jersey, like you're saying, they got nice beaches. But New York City beaches aren't great. But they're there. Kind of thing.
Water's quite dirty and it looks quite brown.
Well, it's in a bay, so it doesn't have any surf. So it's just flat.
Okay.
So that's part of the reason why it looks brown, because none of that stuff ever goes away. It just sits there. But also it's not fun to go to because like there's nothing going on, But
Yeah, I need to go there.
So how long have you been in London?
Since about 2006, I think.
Oh, all right. So you've been out there a long time.
Yeah.
Do you go
We
back to South Africa often?
I go every year normally,
Okay.
but I haven't been a year and a half.
That's you have a lot of family and stuff still down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They put in, most of them on Cape Town now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have any frame of reference for South Africa.
I'm from Durban, which is kind of like the Florida of South Africa. And then I would say Cape Town's like the LA of South Africa.
Okay.
So
Cool.
kind of, yeah, it's kind of like, it's more summer tropic weather in Durban, where I'm from, like Florida, and it's got like crocodiles and things.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
It's fun though,
It's cool.
But
It's just, yeah, you have to, I think if you haven't grown up there, you just got to have your wits about you, and you need to know what to do and what not to do at what times, because bad things.
So I have never been to South Africa, but I went to Morocco, so that's like my one Africa check on the map, for that continent. But maybe, I don't know, one day maybe.
Yeah, I should do it.
But London I like a lot, man. I would go back to London. I was gonna say, so just to switch gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Two things I wanted to touch on. One, I'm friends with so many people online, and like I've watched your videos and stuff, but when you sing, you have a different accent. I don't know if it's just the singing or your influences, but I don't hear your accent as much when you sing.
I think I don't know. I think like if I had to sing in a South African accent, because I know what it's like, and you've grown up there, you kind of laugh at your accent a bit.
Yeah.
If I was like, yeah, well, for me personally, it just would sound a bit weird.
It's interesting because you'll be friends with people like, and you don't expect what they sound like sometimes when you meet them.
I mean, my accent's still strong, but it's definitely shaved around the edges a bit. It's kind of mixed up a little bit.
In London a long time, right?
Yeah, so it's still, I'm pretty, like, with all my friends that moved here around the same time, like they way more English sounding than me. I think, I don't know what it is. I think with me, I don't really get influenced too much about like what's happening around me. I kind of get influenced by what I like. So I'm not really, I don't know, I can't explain, but if you know what I mean, I'm kind of in my own world in a way.
You're in your own bubble. You're doing your thing.
Yeah, I influence like what I like, and I'm not going to be like trying to copy the next, someone talks to me in some way, then I'm going to start talking like that.
Yeah.
I don't think.
It happens naturally sometimes, but you're not going to like consciously go out of your way to do that kind of thing.
Yeah. Also, I think in London, it's, you got so many accents.
Yeah. It's a big city. There's from all over the world.
Yeah, it's like, how do you pick up an accent when there's all these different accents?
Yeah, yeah.
You got like,
Definitely.
everyone's got accents, so it's like, well, okay, I'll just talk how I'll talk.
Yeah.
You guys talk, where I suppose when you go to like somewhere like the States or Australia, it's like quite full on.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Especially like, I can't hear my accent, but I know I have one kind of thing,
yeah,
I was going to say,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Now I kind of go, okay, yeah, coffee and that whole like New York.
Yeah. And it's there, like I don't realize it, and I'm definitely not the thickest accent around, but it's there. I tell people.
You like got Italian blood, or
yeah, definitely.
Do most people like in Jersey and New York have Italian?
Not as much as they used to, but Staten Island, because a lot of people here are from like they're original New Yorkers. They're not from other places and moved in. So there still is a large Italian American and Irish American community in Staten Island. Yeah, definitely. So I was gonna say, with the whole, we talked about Blinkwave. We talked about you have like a unique kind of spin on things that people seem to be digging, and I've kind of ran up against, I guess, the sound people expect versus the sound I make, because kind of like we said, I just kind of making what sounds good, what makes you happy.
I don't know with other artists, but with me, singing is quite a personal thing, and I don't want to try and mimic an 80s person that I'm.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That doesn't seem authentic to me. It seems strange. If I was like trying to be like, that would be weird. Like when it comes to singing, like the music is, for me, that's different because you're using, like machines. But
yeah.
I think with your voice has got to be you.
Yeah.
Our voice is me, and that's what it is. And I'm not gonna.
I think it connects with people. I think it's definitely something that not a lot of people are doing. You're kind of like mashing genres, and it works.
Yeah. I still like to do the instrumentals as well, just to I enjoy. I think it's cool having an album where it's like some is instrumental and some is not. I find that it's refreshing to me.
Definitely. I was gonna say, like, have you ran into a lot of like the naysayers and gatekeepers and stuff like that because you're trying to innovate things?
I personally stayed out. I don't really get involved. I hear via people that people, talk this, talk that about me. I've seen some memes and stuff, but I don't get offended. I'm not one of these people. I'm like, I don't know, but I don't get offended, or I don't get all like, I'm just like.
I mean, if they're making memes about you, you got to be doing something right?
I think it's funny. I literally crack up. Yeah.
So I know you would use. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Karen.
You go.
Yeah, I don't really get involved with the gate. I don't. It's a never-ending discussion.
Yeah.
It won't end.
I hate the whole like it's not synth enough, or it's because like you get from both sides. Some people will be like it's not synth enough, and then some people will be like it's not innovative. Everything sounds the same about synthwave in general. Like it's like this self-hating genre. It's like we could just like both kinds, guys.
Imagine the hip hop scene did that.
Yeah.
Like, how many of the same beats? The hip hop beat is the same trap beat. Is the same trap beat.
Yeah.
I think you got to do it like. Well, this is what I think. You got to make it. If you make it too different, like especially the synth parts, then it's not going to have the same effect, and it's going to be something completely different. So I think you got to kind of, for me personally, I like to stay true to that, but I think you need to add your own touch to it. Like still be individual, whether that's your image or your look, the way you sing, the way your lyrics, whatever. I think that's important because if everyone's going to mimic 80 singers and we're all going to do the exact same thing, and it's just going to be like, this is going to
Yeah.
be like overload. But there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Yeah. There's a time for both of it, but definitely I like the innovations that you've made. I think it sits in a good vein for synth. I was gonna say you were using the Akai, right?
I mean, I've had two. I had the Novation, the big one, because I have the big one, the 30, and then I had the Akai, like I bought years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I tried out the Novation one, and I just the keys are way better.
They're weighted?
Sorry?
You said what? They're way better?
I don't think they're not weighted. I just like the feel of them. It's just so.
Yeah. Now that's a bigger one. It's a bigger interface.
No, it's pretty much the same, but the keys look a bit bigger.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. Is that the keys are awkward sometimes on the Akai just because it's space saving, but they look small. And you know what? I have a live Roland that I've been playing, and it's a JDXI. It's cool because it has all these synths in it. Like there's a drum machine and a bass machine and two polyphonic synths that you could all turn them all on and off. And it's really powerful, but it has those small keys, especially for playing live. That's kind of like a speed bump, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of used, when I played live 2 weeks ago, I kind of had both. I mean, yeah, with the pads on the Novation, like, they're a bit smaller, but yet again, the feel of them are way more like kind of like they got a bounciness to them.
Yeah.
With Akai, I can't even say it. Akai, I can't even say
it. Yeah, I don't know.
They're a lot bigger, which is cool, but then they feel quite like hard. Like I'm hitting something quite solid so it's just, I mean, it just depends on, they're both cool. I mean, I like, but.
Because I've been playing the Akai since I started the synth stuff, but I'm thinking about maybe switching to something else. I don't know, but it's so that's a good thing
it's not because I've got this big one. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
These are weighted
pads on that too.
Yeah, and it's nice to I normally use that for like bass stuff,
Yeah. So you've been playing live a lot, or you got a lot planned coming up?
I need to go to the States. I think that's the next move for gig. Because most of the people that follow me are from the States.
Do a tour or just like an LA kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get from there, but I have to be doing shows there. It's no point in, like, I did a show 2 weeks ago and that was cool. It was 200 people. It was awesome. UK's like in the demographic scheme of things, it's not my top place.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'm trying to play live more often. I got one coming up in July, but just that transitioning from in the box to live on stage and trying not to lose too much, but also not really having a band is like that. I'm struggling with like having too many pieces or not enough to make it a show kind of thing, It's
a tricky thing with Synthwave because it's such a big layered sound.
Yeah.
You can't just like you have to, obviously you have to have backing tracks. It's not going to work without.
Yeah. I made peace with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously with me it was like, I'm singing and playing lead guitar and then I'm playing synth. So at some point I got to go, look, I cannot play everything. So at the moment, I had my drummer with me, which is rad. That just added a cool element. But I think there's some things I was just like, listen, I can't be singing, and then it's like I'm playing lead, and then there's like a massive keyboard solo. It's like you kind of got to, within reason.
And that's kind of exactly where I'm at. Where at first, in my head, I'm like, I have this cool rolling synth. It has a drum thing in it. I'll build the drum track. I'll do the bass, and then you're joking yourself. Like you're not playing everything. Like I don't know how to play all these instruments. And then all at once. So I'm mostly a guitar player. So I made, like you said, I made peace with the backtrack. I have my synth, I have my backtrack, I got my guitar. And even then, sometimes it's like, it's too much because you got to perform, you know, and then you're thinking about what you didn't hit in 5 seconds. You know, don't let the backtrack play too long. So yeah, I'm wrestling with that, like being too minimal versus, you know, doing too much, I guess.
Yeah, you just gotta, and also I find like you can practice till you're blue in the face at home, but there's no practice like actually playing a show.
Oh yeah.
So
You know.
that's always like the shitty part is that you haven't played a show in a while.
Yeah.
And now you got the show and you're like, you can practice at the rehearsal like all day long, but you need that.
And then when you're getting off stage, you're like, all right, let's do it again.
Yeah.
But your next show is in like 3 months. You know?
Yeah, my friend Adam, who jumped for me, we were like, if we had to do a show tomorrow, that would be 10 times better because we just, you know, and you watch videos back and you're like, oh, okay. But that's how it goes. Like, I know from back in the day when we toured loads, like long tours, maybe like 2 months or whatever. The first couple shows is always a bit like a little bit dicey.
Yeah.
But then,
and then you figure out the dance again, you know?
Yeah, and in the last like week or last 2 weeks or last month, it's like you're just on fire.
Yeah.
You know? That's why a lot of bands always do their hometown show, the last one, because they know by then they're going to be like.
And also you got the crowd, and if you have the crowd, you know, you play better because they're into it, type of thing, you know?
Yeah,
there's that dialogue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing the backtrack. I have my synth. I'm just gonna do it. You know, I'm probably gonna try not to overthink it and I'd like to do more maybe like Instagram live concert type of thing.
I need to get my streaming stuff. That's like one of the things I'm doing, like trying to work out at the moment. Just get my streaming side of things. On track.
Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. Like, there's a way to do it. I just haven't set it up yet, and I really should just get on doing that. Because if I could just like webcam to Instagram and like line in my board to it while I play, that would make things a million times better. Because like I've recorded videos where like I'll just turn up my monitors and it still sounds not great. You know, you kind of still have the board.
The world of streaming is very confusing to me still.
Twitch is cool, you know. Twitch is cool as well.
Yeah, but I definitely need to get like my YouTube streaming and go more on TikTok and maybe even Twitch.
Yeah. So lastly, I think because like I don't want to keep you. I thank you because I know that it's much later where you are than where I am.
It's midnight. That's early days for me, though.
The sun is still out here, you know.
Yeah.
But I appreciate it, you know. I was gonna say, so with going forward, what do you got going on? You know, I know you have Daggers that just came out. Anything else that you're looking forward to?
Got a bunch of content that still got music videos to come out. I just didn't want to. I mean, I was so busy with the gig and just mixing and stuff. I didn't actually have time to finish it. But it actually, when I think of it, I don't want to like post everything in one go.
Yeah.
Album. You kind of want to spread it out. So there's still music videos to come and more shows, and I'm focusing now just on content as well, just like online. Because when I was mixing, I like to be consistent, and there was loads of weeks where it was just like, it's not like I need to post more.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I'm pretty focused on thinking of new. I'll still do the videos that I do, but just new ideas,
new concepts too, right? Like that. Me too. Like, yeah. I'm sorry.
No, go on.
It's the same thing where like I'll get a certain photo or video that I post often because it's like it always hits. But then for yourself, creatively, you're like, you know, I want to do something else. You know, I gotta move into something cool or something new. You know.
I think if you keep it on brand and you know something that still fits what you're doing, but just try something new. And I think people who follow you will like that too. You know, you're just kind of throwing it in with the other things that you post. So in the algorithm these days is so like whack. I mean, like half the people. I mean, like 10% of your followers see it anyway. So, like, just try post something. Who knows what will happen? Like,
you know what's funny? I was just saying this, like I posted, it's the Louvers like 4-year anniversary or something this week. And I went back to my first few posts and I got more likes on my posts when I had like 300 followers than I do now. Like, 3,500. It's wild. But I think that was Instagram back then too,
Yeah, the whole algorithm thing. Everyone thinks they know.
Yeah.
Nobody has an ethic.
Nobody knows.
What?
Nobody knows.
We need to do this, and you must post at these times, and da 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 da. It's all bunch of nonsense because I watch how things. It's so sporadic and random.
And you hit like on TikTok, right?
First.
Yeah. Would you say you went viral?
Yeah.
Or
TikTok before Instagram, yeah.
Yeah.
And it just changes. Like some months it's just like, you get way more views, and some it's like you're in the ocean and you're just floating around and it's like a current and it's just like, okay, push you.
And I think that goes back to like what you're saying, like just post things that you think you're gonna like. Post things that I think are like authentic. Like when I really plan a video and edit it, like I'll get a certain amount of engagement. Then I'll do a video of like me just BSing and not doing anything, and it's like blowing up. Like what? Yeah.
Sometimes the videos you just some random stupid thing, and it's like I don't understand.
I'm like lighting a scene and making sure everything's cool and like nothing, or I'll take a tape and just take a picture of it in my hand, and it's like people are sharing it, and it's like, all right, whatever.
I think at the end of the day, you got to post stuff that you love to do.
That's that. Exactly.
You're gonna make posts because you're trying to like go viral, but you don't even like making those. What are you doing?
Yeah. Then don't do that. Yeah.
Like go work at a bank or something.
Yeah. That's like what. Yeah, exactly. That's like what like the collection too. Like I just collect things that I like. I don't care if it's like new, old. Like if it just hits that note, and not everybody likes that about like retro collecting stuff. But I just whatever it is, if it's cool, I like it. And I try to keep that mentality with the posts too. Like, just post things that I think are cool.
Yeah, I think that's what it's all about. And then it works. It works. If it doesn't work, it may. As I say, this algorithm thing is so weird.
Nobody knows.
People think they know, but I'm like,
you can read the articles, but anyway. All right. Well, I thank you so much for joining me today on the Louvers Happy Hour, episode 3. Hopefully, Instagram plays nice with us. I'm sorry. Go.
And like keeping the scene alive and stuff. You're always pretty. You're pretty consistent with that, and so yeah, thanks. And
I think that it's important to like make the connections between creators too, like you're saying, like, supporting each other and reaching out and doing these kind of things.
Yeah, especially like me personally, people that I feel like are good people. Like when like immediately like, yeah, sure, like let's go. You were there from the beginning, like awesome, but it's just like yeah, it's definitely I can always tell, even if you haven't met someone, you can kind of get that vibe online, like how they are.
Yeah, people that are just like being themselves and like seem like they just be cool people,
Exactly.
But all right, well, thanks again. Hopefully Instagram plays nice and this video saves, but if not, we'll just do it again in 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
But cool. Let me know when you're coming to the US. We'll link up, and if I ever end up in London, I'll let you know. I got my friend actually has a Sri Lankan restaurant out there that I'll send you.
What area did you in London? Do you know?
I don't know, but it's called Kotu House. He used to be in New York, and he moved to London because his family was in London. We went to high school together, actually. He's a cool dude, and he opened this restaurant because it's the food that he grew up with, and now he's in London. It's called Kotu House. So check it out, I guess, if it's over there. They're on the gram. So, but anyway, all right, thanks again, man. I'll see you soon. Have a good night. We'll be in touch.
You too, man. And be careful of the aliens. They're coming back.
Oh, yeah. I heard.
Cool, man. Cheers.